And what's up guys, I'm Mitko3. I haven't uploaded to this channel for a long time, and I'm probably not going to upload any battles anymore because I switched chairs and I don't have any other ways to record. Also, I'm sorry, but I don't have the time to edit this. So let's get started with the war of the original Infinity Nado trilogy. This Microsoft Word file is written by me, Dimitar Stoikov, but the original Infinity Nado anime is by Kai Dong Quing. I'm sorry if I'm reading this wrong. I'm hoping that some famous YouTuber sees this video and reacts to it, or sends me a message over on Discord and creates the video themselves. So let's start reading the scripts. Infinity Nado is a story which is confirmed to take over at least 4,540,000,029 years. That's the calculation I once made. Let's start off with the main thing that makes this universe different than ours, being spirit power. It is basically the aura of someone, and the more aura that someone has, the stronger they are. Spirit power can be transferred between people. If someone runs out of spirit power, they will die. If you have a lot, you can use it as energy attacks. Another thing that is exclusive to the universe are the war gods. The war gods are a group of 20 powerful immortal beings who live in a place called the Hurricane Tower and govern the universe. They create life on planets and can destroy them if they judge a planet's inhabitants to be barbaric. They also generally have the most spirit power out of any living being. Now this part happens before the start of the show. I have written things like this as timestamps. So before the start of the show. A story about one called Devil War God is that once he made a mistake and destroyed a planet because he was racist. He realized what he did wrong, so he removed his eyes. The strongest one of them, World War God, is the creator of the Infinity Nado universe. He has seen other war gods create planets, so he got jealous and decided to create the planet Earth. He is the one that taught the humans how to start wars and other things like that. I'm not 100% sure how canon that is, but I heard it somewhere, so I decided to write it. The Earth actually created two beings, Pandora and the World of Chaos. Their purpose was to destroy the world and create a new one if it is ruined. The World of Chaos had also created two beings of his own. Imprisonment, that only had a soul and no body, and Tanatman, that only has a body and no soul to help him in the destruction of the Earth. Pandora and the World of Chaos were supposed to stay asleep until the day came. Tanatman and Imprisonment later created the League of Ancient Hunter Gods. They were 8 people from various ancient civilizations who became immortals, supposedly assigned the duty of using Pandora to destroy humanity. The order in which each one of them was granted immortality was probably Egyptian Hunter God, Indian Hunter God, and Gaia, Eden Hunter God, Mayan Hunter God, Atlantis Hunter God, Chinese Hunter God. Each ancient hunter god came from a different ancient civilization and could be recognized by their nicknames and attire. Anatman later also joined the group under the name Greek Hunter God. Most things after that, until 13 years before the start of the series, probably happened the same way as they did in our universe, like the two world wars. 13 years before the show started, probably in 1999, the war gods attacked Earth because they thought the humans were evil because of all the wars that they have had and the pollution that they have done to their planet. To make sure you understand, the sky actually turned black because of the pollution. The war gods killed most of the population and probably destroyed all the cities on the planet. Most of the survivors migrated to a city in a desert called Freeville Town, where the war gods attacked. In a village that is being attacked by a moon war god, most people are getting burnt alive, but a kid named Davis is saved by a tower war god and is given demigod powers without his knowledge. Sometime after that, two of the war gods are fighting, called Justice War God and Death War God, with Justice War God losing and getting killed shortly after. The two of them are brothers and they're fought because Justice War God wanted to save the humans. The battle is witnessed by two humans, Arthur, or 80s in some dubs, and Wang Hu. They are given the Infinity Nado dashing fists and a suitcase with two kids, Cecilia and Jin. Cecilia is the daughter of World War God, and Jin also has War God powers because he was close to dying, but Justice War God gave him some spirit power to help him, which also made his hair blue, because it was originally blonde. Jin and the suitcase go to Wang Hu, and Arthur gets the others. He later also adopts Davis, starts the World Shooter Association, WSA, and distributes Infinity Nados. Wang Hu trains Jin to become the best Infinity Nado player until he passes away from old age. World War God creates a War God called Wheel of Fortune, or Fortune War God, with the help of a War God called Temperance War God, because he misses Cecilia. In Freeville Town, the year is never mentioned, two characters called Engel and Sandy, also known as Hearn in some languages, open a pizzeria. They are married. The interesting thing about the pizzeria is that they sell the pizza for free unless someone defeats them in an Infinity Nado battle, but it is written in fine print. They take care of all the orphans in Freeville Town like Eli and Bob. Bob is often bullied for his height and gets corrupted by his Infinity Nado. Basically builds a huge suit and goes by the name Mountain Baby. Mountain Baby. I don't know why it is written like that, but it is canon. Temperance War God also decides to do some experiments. She turned 4 different living beings into war gods, like Arthur into the Chariot War God, and a vampire called Count Arrow into the Hanged Man War God. Now this is the start of season 1. 13 years after that, probably in 2012, Jin was on his way to Freeville Town for a tournament like Battle Bladers from Beyblade Metal Fusion, which prize was the Infinity Nado Dashing Fists. When he enters the town, he gets confronted by Eli, who he befriends. While they are walking around the city, they meet a lot of people like Chester and Dawn. One second. Whose story is that a couple years ago his dad died, his mother was sick and he had 9 younger siblings. Later they all had died. Now he is an ex-treasure hunter that helps Chester bully people in return for money. Jin shows his strong spirit power to Dawn during a battle. Dawn joins Jin and Eli. Davis finds and battles Jin and Dawn with Cecilia interrupting the battle. She and Davis break Jin and Davis's Nados. Jin and Dawn's Nado, I'm sorry. She and Davis break Jin and Dawn's Infinity Nados. They go to Ham and Gunn's workplaces to have their Infinity Nados and spirit power fixed. Jin, Dawn, Sandy, Bob, Engel, Floyd, Dion, Faye, Gant and Ham join the tournament. Basically, only 8 people could qualify. During the tournament, Bob goes back to his old self with the power of friendship. At the end of the tournament, before Jin gets to battle Davis and Cecilia to get Dashing Fists, the tournament is interrupted by Wheel of Fortune and a group called the Dark Masters, whose goal is to steal the Nado, but they don't succeed. They also explain that they want to destroy the planet. Cecilia decides to give Dashing Fist to Jin. After that, Jin, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go to the Hurricane Tower to battle the war gods and stop them from destroying the earth. They befriend some of them. After they progressed further into the tower, they got attacked by 4 war gods that became once because of Temperance war god. Jin, Dawn, and Davis get their opponents Nadus, but Cecilia loses her battle, so she gets sent to World War God. Oops. Temperance war god decides to turn 5 humans into war gods, such as Chester into the Emperor war god, and Faye into the Empress war god. They get brainwashed and turned into users of the 5 forbidden Nadus. There are 3 more, of course, because they would steal the spirit power of their users. Later they get befriended by Jin, Dawn, and Davis. The Empress War God and World War God are trying to use Cecilia and Wheel of Fortune to get a launcher for the Hurricane Tower to launch it like an Infinity Nado to destroy the Earth, but their plan doesn't succeed. Because Jin manages to make World War God think that the humans aren't evil, but instead were fighting to understand each other better. I would like to add that this is a good explanation for the Holocaust. Temperance War God decides to destroy the Earth by herself, but she gets stopped by Jin and tricked by Cecilia and Wheel of Fortune, because they switch bodies. They look alike. Cecilia and Wheel of Fortune. Temperance War God and Moon War God get banished to another dimension. All other War Gods, I can speak for some reason. All other War Gods and the people living in Freeville Town have fun in Davis and Cecilia's mansion. After that, Arthur goes back to living on Earth. What happened to Chester and the other users of Forbidden Nadus is unknown. Now we're getting into Season 2. 1 year later, probably in 2013, Season 2 starts with Jin exploring a snowy mountain, where he suddenly falls into a cave. In the cave, he sees an Atman preparing for the ritual to destroy the Earth. They battle and Jin loses and his spirit power is absorbed by an Atman, which causes a huge energy wave to be sent around the planet, which causes everyone's Nadus to evolve and look like a Nado that the ancient hunter gods, Pandora, and the Lord of Chaos own, except Jin's. That causes Pandora to wake up in some temple ruins without her memories. Also, there was an explosion there, so a month later, Dawn and Arthur decide to go visit the place and suddenly and successfully, I don't know what I'm saying, successfully rescue Pandora. They take her to Davis and Cecilia's mansion where they meet up. The power of their 3 new Nadus manages to accidentally summon Jin, but he is hurt. Pandora gives him spirit power to make him feel better and later evolves his Nado, after they got attacked by the Egyptian hunter god. Jin, Dawn, Davis, Pandora, Cecilia, and Arthur go to the ruins to learn more. They learn that Pandora will regain her memories the more battles she wins. They also find a stone relic that later becomes the Infinity Nado War Sword during a battle. That is Pandora's Nado. I'm sorry. Jin, Dawn, Davis, Cecilia, and Pandora go to different monuments using the King of the Roads mark on each one to try to learn more about Pandora and befriend the ancient hunter gods, but they break their gems, making them mortals again. While Jin, Dawn, Davis, Cecilia, and Pandora are at the Indian monument, Eli decides to follow them without their knowledge. There he befriends Gaia and tells him about Jin's adventures. Gaia is a male even though he looks like a female because the creators of Infinity Nado didn't want Gaia and Indian hunter god being shipped. I also forgot to mention that you have to pay 10,000 points in order to use one of those marks. Out of something related to a bay pointer. That is why only 8 people qualified for the tournament in Season 1. After Jin, Dawn, Davis, Cecilia, and Pandora break the gems of all the ancient hunter gods except Chinese hunter god, they get confronted by an Atman that breaks Chinese hunter god's gem with the help of imprisonment, who gave him a new Nado, so that the ritual for the summon of the World of Chaos is completed and Pandora's memories are successfully returned. A giant monument appears in the sky and Pandora goes there. The World of Chaos starts going to Earth with his monument from space. I also forgot to mention here that Eli tells everything he knows about Jin to Gaia because of their friendship, and also has a battle with him and beats him, and both of them are using Infinity Nado since Eli always carries to him to always be able to battle with someone. So let's get back to the story. Arthur and Eli enjoy the group. They go to a monument under Freeville Town where they meet the disciples of the World of Chaos. From there they can also travel to go to any monument, but they get attacked, so they go back to the city. There they battle Atlantis Hunter God and an Atman, and they manage to befriend them. After that the whole town gets attacked by imprisonment. He has battles with everyone from the main group and tries to make a deal. If someone from the town gives him a body, he will spare them and let them live in the new evil world. But because everyone was in the main group or wanted to stay with their loved ones, they refused, killing him with the power of friendship. The World of Chaos and his monument finally arrived on Earth. The original group, Ancient Hunters and Disciples of the World of Chaos, go back to the monument under Freeville Town. They decide that only Jin and Chinese Hunter God should go to the World of Chaos monuments because they are the strongest there, so that the others don't get hurt. The World of Chaos defeats Chinese Hunter God with ease but loses to Jin because he got spirit power from everyone who knew about the battle. He then dies. From there, Jin goes to Pandora's monument and interrupts her ritual to recreate Earth. They battle. If Jin wins, then the Earth is safe, and if Pandora wins, then the Earth is destroyed. She wins but decides to give Jin another chance. Because of his determination and because he manages to befriend her again, she wins again. I spoke a bit too fast. She gave him another chance because of the determination. And because they're friends again. She wins again and the planet is destroyed with a new one created. I'm sorry for being unprofessional. Between Season 2 and Season 3, Pandora probably spreads information about Infinity Nados, leading the people to think that there was an ancient Infinity Nado civilization. Now 2008 New Earth time. The Emperor's God awakens an evil Infinity Nado at the dimension where she was sent called Shadow Streak or Hellish Ghost in some depths. A person from the dimension teleports to a playground in a forest, also transporting 9 Infinity Nados with him. They become a beacon for Shadow Streak to come to Earth in the future. He is found unconscious by Mac and Jet. They take him to their friends Rachel, Carol, Shaq, Goodson, Susan and Yvette. While he is asleep, they take his Infinity Nados and battle with them. That person is Snobe. One moment. Yes, okay. A couple days later, Arthur sends someone to find them, but the bridge he is walking on breaks. Fortunately, he is saved by them. He gives them the title 9 Stars. Nobe tells them to give him back his Nados, so the Shadow Streak isn't able to come to Earth, but they refuse and split up. They kept the reason why they split up a secret. Nobe becomes an inventor, Max starts shipping stuff to people, Jay starts participating in underground Nado battles, Rachel becomes a model and lives with her brother Carol, who becomes a famous chef in a big city. Chuck becomes a detective, Goodson opens a museum about ancient Infinity Nado history. Susan wanted to study medicine, but she stopped so that she could help Yvette because of his medical problems. He becomes a famous violin player. There is a tournament every 4 years for people to challenge them in a battle and become the 10th star. Temperance War God goes undercover on Earth with a new identity called Dr. Louise and creates a puppet called Jack. Not like a Barbie, but more like Chucky. Now here's something that happened during season 2. After Pandora destroyed the Earth and created a new one. Around 4.54 billion years after that, 2014 on the new Earth, Pandora sees the resurrected Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia on their way to Freeville Town, but they don't remember each other except Davis and Cecilia. Jean asks her if she wants to walk with him, but something happens because after that she isn't with him in season 3. And the stick was the end of season 2. Pandora goes undercover under the identity Phantom Thief Dot. Not cause problems to Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia. During 2015 New Earth time, the first Nados Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia owned appear from a portal and go to their reincarnated owners. Jean on his way to Freewood Town because he has heard that it is a town where the best Infinity Nado players live. There he meets Eli, who takes him to a guy named Bill, who is coming little kids of their Nados, saying that he will upgrade them. He, Kill and Lynn are the King's family. Like the Team Rocket of Infinity Nado. Jean realizes that there's coming people, so he puts his Infinity Nado where the others are, but he launches it with the launcher, breaking the pot, because his grandpa, one who taught him that the real power must be earned. The King's family gets mad at him, so they send Dawn to battle him. During the battle, they regain their memories, because their old Infinity Nados combine with their new Nados. After that, Jean, Dawn and Eli go to Cecilia and Davis's house, but Arthur doesn't live there anymore. They battle with Davis and they get their memories back. Eli doesn't because he didn't get an old version of his Nado. Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go to Temperance War God Swap, or Louise's Swap. They get attacked by the King's family. Temperance War God teaches them about their new Nados, because they're using a different part system. The parts are completely different, except maybe the face boat. Pandora has been stealing stolen Nados from people and giving them to their original owners. She also stole a prototype Nado from Temperance War God. Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia hold an exhibition of valuable and rare Infinity Nado parts. Pandora goes there and battles with Jean. After that, they watch Shadowstreak's Puck or face boat appear on Earth. They go there, but it was already taken by Jack. Pandora tells them about Shadowstreak, and after that they get more information from Temperance War God. Jack gives new Infinity Nados and training to the King's family so that they can defeat Jean and Pandora, but they fail. Max comes to Freeville Town because of the competition. They defeat him and request to know about Shadowstreak, but he doesn't tell them. Temperance War God gives them 4 extra Infinity Nado parts and they're flown to a city, where Rachel and Carol live with Max airplane. They reveal that members of the 9 stars can combine their Nados, but they still lose. Like a 2v1 from like Ray Striker from the XCS series. But it's actually 2 cool Nados. The group asks them about Shadowstreak, but Rachel and Carol tell them that it is a secret. Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go to the city where Shaq and Guston live, with Pandora following them, without their knowledge. The people in the town have managed to create machines using Infinity Nados like trains. There they go to the museum that Goodson owns, where they see pictures of the Hurricane Tower and Pandora's monument. They manage to defeat Shaq and Goodson. Pandora steals an old relic, which was her own Nado, so that she can give it spiritual power to her new Nado. I don't know why I actually can't speak. I'm serious, I don't know why. And I'm sorry. She returns it after that. They ask about Charles Drake, but Shaq and Goodson tell them that it is a secret. Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go to Susan and Yvette's house. They defeat them. They get locators so that they can find the others, which are alone. After that, they ask about Charles Drake, but Susan and Yvette tell them that it is a secret. I hate how Microsoft Word treats new pages. Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia ask Mac to fly them to the mechanical city near Japan, where only Nobe and robots live. Mac and Nobe battle, but Jean stops them, making them friends again. Jean gives his necklace to Cecilia as a form of friendship. They battle and defeat Nobe, making Jean the 10th star and the title of the best Infinity Nado player. They ask him about Charles Drake, but he tells them that it is a secret. Because it is a secret, I missed this part. I probably missed some other parts because of the way Microsoft Word there is no pages. So before the Nobe stuff, the group goes to Jet's location. Dawn battles him so that he can win some rare parts, but he loses, which means that he has to give up his Nado to Jet. So Jean stands up for him and battles Jet, and wins. They ask him about Charles Drake, but he tells them that it is a secret. Now the Nobe stuff. Jet steals the Charles Drake plug or face boat in Freewell Town and puts it onto a weak Nado, which turns to ashes from that immense power. He decides to put it on his actual Nado, but it takes control of his body. Nobe teleports everyone on Mechanical City to Freewell Town to stop him. Pandora also joins them in the town. They manage to stop him. After that, Temperance War God appears with Jack in her actual form, not like Dr. Lewis. She steals Jean's Nado, deeming it worthy of Charles Drake, and she breaks Pandora's mask, revealing her identity. They leave through a portal. Cecilia calls everyone from the 10 stars, asks them to come to her house. She asks them about their secret, and they reveal it to her, Jean, Dawn, Davis and Pandora. Meanwhile, in Cecilia and Davis's front yard, Jean asks Nobe to tell him about Charles Drake, and he takes him back to 2008, New Earth time. After his arrival to Earth, there Jean learns the secret and asks him to stay there to try to make them give their Nados to Nobe. The secret was what I said earlier, how he appeared. Right before they do so, Temperance War God appears to stop them, but she fails. Meanwhile, in 2015, New Earth time, Nobe is starting to disappear and everyone except him, Cecilia, Dawn, Davis and Pandora, and the other members of the 10 stars have forgotten Jean. Dawn and Davis battle and open a portal, using their spirit power and friendship, and Cecilia throws the necklace inside to make it stable. Pandora, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go through and appear in a different dimension, unconscious, and are found by Temperance War God and Jack. Jean also goes through the portal and appears where they were, on Earth, to learn that everyone in Freewell Town has forgotten him as a friend except Mac and Jet, but instead he is remembered as a member of the 10 stars. Jean battles the King's family combined Nado at the place where Charles Drake appeared, and they open a portal. Mac and Jet then battle to make it stable. Jin goes through the portal and travels through a couple dimensions before meeting Jack, and following him to a Luna Park themed location, where he meets Pandora. Together they defeat Jack and are found by Justice Wargot. He takes them to the Hurricane Tower with Jack being held hostage. The Wargots are back. The Empress Wargot also goes to the Hurricane Tower and makes a deal with World Wargot. His Nado for Cecilia's safety, and he agrees. Because that Nado is so strong, also it is deemed the strongest Nado in the universe, it can stably hold Shadow Streak's block, and together they create the whole Shadow Streak. Jin battles it at loses. Dawn, Cecilia and Davis wake up in different dimensions and battle different types of Shadow Streak, whose power gets transferred to Temperance Wargots. Basically, there are multiple versions of Shadow Streak for attack, stamina and defense. And balance, I think. No, only 3. Attack, stamina and defense. And she uses those different types to battle Cecilia, Dawn and Davis. The power later goes to her version. I forgot where I was. I'm sorry for this. Jin battles it and loses. Oh wait, no. Ah yes. Dawn, Davis and Cecilia wake up in different dimensions and battle different types of Shadow Streak, whose power gets transferred to Temperance Wargots. They win because of the power of friendship, which gives them new Nados. Temperance Wargot tries to merge the Hurricane Tower with the Fortress Tower, where she lives, to cause a huge energy wave to appear, but she is confronted by Jin. Pause. But she is confronted by Jin. Not Jin, but Jin. Not that fast. Dawn, Davis and Cecilia go through portals and appear on an asteroid, where they are able to witness the battle between Jin and Temperance Wargot. There they also find Nobe, who looks like a younger version of himself, but has his memories. Cecilia, Davis, Dawn and Pandora transfer spirit power to Jin, using their friendship, which allows him to gain a new Nado, and defeat Temperance Wargot. The Wargots' original 9 stars, King's family, Pandora, Dawn, Davis, Cecilia and Eli, I don't know, and one of his friends witness Jin's strong spirit power. Not as in not like they're there, but in a similar way you can see the stars in space. It is that bright. Temperance Wargot is imprisoned, and Magician Wargot destroys the Fortress Tower. He's one of the Wargots, and he actually turns the main characters into penguins, but somehow still lost. So he turned them back into humans during season 1. Yvette defeats Shaq in the last Infinity Nado battle in the show. The original 9 stars with Nobe back in his grown-up body go through a portal with Max airship. Pandora, Davis, Cecilia, Jin and Dawn go to find an adventure with Bill, Kill and Lynn following them. The end. I also wrote some plot holes. How was Guy immortal when he didn't have a gem? Because the way that the other ancient hunter gods were immortal is that they had gems, but instead Guy was with Indian hunter god. What happened to the Dark Masters after they tried to steal Dashing Fists? I don't know, they probably died. What happened to Moon War God? He probably got sent to the same dimension as Temperance and Charles Drake, but didn't return. What happened to the users of the Forbidden Nados? They probably died because of a lack of power, since they weren't seen in Season 2, or even mentioned. And also because Eli said that he was the strongest in the town, meaning that he must have beaten Chester. How did Jean, Cecilia and Davis get reincarnated with their powers? So they are born like regular humans in this universe, because the Wargos didn't appear, so Jean should have been saved and have blue hair and have his powers. Cecilia shouldn't have been the daughter of the World War God, but instead of Arthur, but somehow still had powers. And Davis probably has his powers, without being held by Tower War God. However, Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia have their Season 2 Nados at the start of Season 3, because most other people have different Nados, which look like Blast Flame, Delver Mech and Cold Shadow. The real life Nados. However, Arthur adopts Cecilia and Davis in Season 3. Or a better question is why he did that. How did one who adopted Jean in Season 3? Again, because the Wargos didn't come. How did Jean have his suitcase in Season 3 for the same reason? Why doesn't Eli have any of his own Nados in Season 3 when everyone else, Jean, Dawn, Davis and Cecilia, had their own Nados? Why does Freeway Town exist in Season 3? It was created at the place where the Typhoon Tower wanted. But at the New Earth, they never came. Who took care of all the orphans in Freeway Town in Season 3? Because Sandy and Engel probably weren't reincarnated. And we know that because Jean, Dawn and Eli go to a different pizzeria. Why didn't the Wargods visit Earth between 2013 Old Time, Old Earth Time and 2015 New Earth Time? Genuine question. I hope that I didn't miss any parts, that Davis was a demigod and other interesting stuff. Freeway Town is a small circular city where people live like cowboys. When I forgot what to say. When Justice showed his arrow to Arthur and Wang Hu, he watched it at a roulette table at a casino and it was 13. I said that it started at 2012 because that is when the show started in the real life, to make it equal. It also probably caused some mutations because we also see a giant rat in Season 1. So I'm hoping that any famous YouTubers see this video and remake it while also giving me credit. I will leave a link in the description of the Infinity Nado wiki and the Russian channel, and also my channel. Bye. Have a nice day.